Hello, hello, good afternoon, happy Monday, happy new week, happy everything, happy festive season. All the happy things we could possibly wish for you. Feel happiness. Please feel happiness, feel joy, feel at home here, feel everything. The program is just way, 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 way too exciting today. Oh, welcome. Let me share my screen and tell you what we are up to. What are we up to? What are we up to? So now, this is what we are up to. We are up to listening to the voice of the customer, listening to the voice of the employee, speaking about customer experience, speaking about employee experience. We are just here to ensure that our businesses are thriving, like really, 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 really thriving, so that we can go out there and just make things happen. Make things happen. So that's what we are doing. We do this monthly. So for those who are new here, feel at home. We do this every third Monday of the month. We have a great lunch, and our lunch today is a gourmet meal. We are serving a gourmet meal. Wait for it. Just wait for it. Wait for it. This is what we have lined up this afternoon. So if you're ready, please tell me in the chat that you're ready. I just need to see that you are ready. Who is ready to get a hot dish? No, we are serving it hot. This is a hot meal coming your way. Please think of a hot meal that you really like the very. Yeah, tuko ready. Ready. Very ready. I can see even there's already with an exclamation mark there. I can see really we are absolutely more than ready. So what are we doing today? We are listening to the guru, the expert in digital customer experience, digital communication, digital voices, listening to the voice of the online customer. Why is this important at all? Why should we listen to the voice of the digital customer? Why should we listen to the voice of the online stakeholder? It is because if we don't do this, if we don't listen to these stakeholders, if we don't grab a hold of what they're saying, and not just listening, but acting, there's listening and then just staying there, as we say, there. We're not going to stay there after we have listened to the customer. We are going to go out and do something. Do something. Mina uko site. Mina, it's like she's on site. You're in the right site. You have not strayed to the wrong site. Yeah. So how do we listen to respond wisely? How do we discern what they are saying? There's so much noise online. In fact, in a customer experience group just this weekend, we're like, what do you do when things go haywire? What do you do when people even write and say things that are not even proper? How do we handle this? How do we run with this? Yeah. So the man in the house, Caleb himself, it is not another. This is not an imposter. We're not having an imposter. We don't have imposter syndrome going down here. It is Caleb, the man himself, who has been doing this for a long time. He has over 15 years experience in this space. He runs Grafiki Media. Now, Grafiki Media is a friend you need to have. Grafiki Media, and he'll tell us a little about this at the end and how to get him, is your creative space, it's your media space, it's your communication space, it's your digital space, it's your strategy space. I could go on and on. And the man behind the mic today is none other than Caleb, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. No, we're not just bringing you randoms. These are all randoms. This is the CEO of this space. So Caleb, let me first tell you how Caleb is my friend. Because he has all these colorful things, but he's my friend. So I know people, and I am in the right space with the right people, doing the right things, as I say all the time. So Caleb, over to you. Talk to the members here. Let us hear what you have to say. Because as you can see, Wanjao here is very ready, even with a smiley face. This is not just ordinary readiness. Even there's a smile. So over to you, Caleb. Talk to us. Hit us with knowledge. We are ready to eat. We are ready for lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Karwa. That is quite an introduction. I need to learn something from the way you introduce people. And thank you so much. And I think we can get right into it. Okay. I hope it is clear enough for everyone.
Yes, we can say it.
Good. Yeah. So when it comes to the online space, there is the traditional media that many people are normally used to. But when you come to the online space, it is always evolving. And we have noticed that sometimes you plan for something this way, then the next time either your platform has changed, or there's a new trend that you need to keep up with, or a new trend that is actually damaging to your brand. And you always, the only way you can mitigate against this or be ready for such interactions is by always keeping your ear to the ground. But let's start with why. Why is it important to always listen? Why is it important that you look at your digital customer interactions? And yeah, so your online interactions, every comment, the way you handle your DMs, the way the posts that you like, and everything that your business is taking part of, is your first impression that your customers see. So if I come there and I see maybe you take 5 days to respond to a customer, that is an impression that will be ingrained in my brain that maybe these guys are not as reputable as I thought. There are so many things that customers normally judge you with. If you're very rude, for example, they will take note of that. How consistent are you? How do your comments come across to them? And so when you look at online engagement, you find that it kind of forms your brand perception. This is what people will know about you. And even these days, whenever everyone is searching for something, the first place they go to is online. They will come and check your TikTok, they'll come and check your Facebook, they'll come and check your IG. And in case they find you not very consistent, then your reputation, kind of suffers from that. Now, we can look at what in online interactions say about you. And these are the things that you really need to watch out for. I only put 4 here, but there are quite a number. And if I'm going too fast, kindly let me know. I can slow it down. Okay. Number 1 is responsiveness. Like we've said, if you're taking 5 days to respond to one client, I'm not going to be very comfortable dealing with your brand. If your tone is not respectful, or you are always on the defensive, then I will worry about how you will handle complaints, because complaints will arise. If you are not clear, and clarity is not only in how you talk to how you answer comments, clarity is also in the content that you post day to day. If you are not consistent, then I will also say maybe you are not a legit brand. Because if you're consistent, then I should be seeing something from you at least once a day, talking about, the services you offer, talking about your own customers, so that it will give me a bit of trust, and, I'll be able to trust your brand and deal with it. There's a small tip that I've written below here, and that is whenever somebody asks you something publicly, you need to answer publicly. If I come to you and I am maybe, for example, giving a complaint, something was not delivered to me. Instead of coming to Marsabit, it was sent all the way to Isiolo. And the first answer that you give me is kindly DM. Never send somebody to your DM before, if they have asked you about these details and complained about them publicly. You need to answer them where they have asked, where they have complained, and before you now take all sensitive matters to the DM. Now, listening to the voice of the online customer, there is a way that, and there was a question that was asked around this, that people are speaking in so many languages, people are speaking in so many different ways. And I could tell that was essentially a B2C business. How do you listen to all these people who are talking? Some of them are Gen Zs. They're talking in a language maybe you personally do not understand. Some of them are giving, are speaking in coded language, and maybe you're not getting it. Some of them are even speaking in other groups that your business is not even part of. For example, in Facebook groups, you'll find so many millennials giving complaints about your brand without even mentioning your brand. So there's so many ways in which digital customers communicate. But with the right tools, you can be able to capture these messages and all these feedback from your customers in good time, and so that you can respond to them in the right time. I will answer those questions at the very end, but for now, I just wanted to give us these slides. Just make sure that you're not missing anything. And even whenever you're not tagged, or maybe your audience is speaking about your competitor, find a way of being part of that conversation as well. Now, there are some real world wins here, and I'll give a few examples. One global, starting with this Stanley Cup. And it will show you how social listening is captured a moment where the brand was not even tagged per se, but they were able to turn it around into a business win. So there was this viral TikTok some time back, I think it was 2023, and somebody's car burnt down. And the person decided to pull out their phone when the whole hullabaloo was over. And they shot a video showing that the Stanley Cup had survived this ordeal. So remember, the Stanley Cup did not cause the fire. It was not the Stanley Cup it was not the Stanley Cup's fault that this whole accident happened. But the CEO of Stanley took this opportunity up, because they were listening. They were using tools to listen to their audiences online. So here they've not been tagged, but they were able to capture this viral moment. So you have millions of people wowed that this cup survived despite all this. Now, why did the CEO of Stanley offer to replace the car for this individual? It was actually a lady. And this is where you can put your ad spend, and instead of directly advertising on your channels, there is a way you can capture places where your brand has been spoken about, or problems that your brand can solve are being spoken about, and then turn them into business wins. So out of all this, they were able to, well, for Stanley, a car is not that expensive to them. You can imagine if it was a small brand, then maybe the discussion would have been different. But for Stanley, they bought a car for this lady, replaced her car, replaced her Stanley, gave her another brand new Stanley car. But the overall consensus, the feeling of the audience, was that these guys are listening, number one, and they do care. Now, that is the perception they will engage Stanley with moving forward. That was just one example. If we bring it closer home, there's a brand that everybody knows. And once you see that color, you know which brand we are talking about. Even if I didn't put that logo there, you would have known who I was talking about. And that's the power of branding. But for this situation, this is just to show that if you employ your tools correctly, you can capture your customer as they go through the several stages of feedback, let me say. So if there is a problem, they have captured it very early and they have answered it. Their call center gets in touch. And even after, you see here, there is that comment that they came back to say, yeah, we see that you called us. We see that you were assisted. Sorry for that experience. I'll give you something else about Safaricom, and maybe you can employ this in how you handle customer feedback. Now, in most times, whenever you call Safaricom of late, like I was having a problem, an issue with M-Pesa Global. I was trying to send money to somebody in another country, and this was money for medicine, and this is somebody who's sick and is in the hospital, and the money kept on bouncing back after 24 hours. So you can imagine the frustration on the other side. You can imagine the frustration on my side. And whenever I called M-Pesa Global, there's something they always did. After I have explained the situation to them, each and every of those call center agents said this specific sentence: sorry for that. Now, had I gone there to rant, had I been very livid and I was, you've kept my patient in hospital, they need this medicine, they're suffering and all that. Imagine how much that sentence diffuses that situation. Sorry for that. So they are apologizing even sometimes when it's not their fault. but it kind of takes the situation from one of war to one of peace, and then now you start engaging with that brand in a very nice way, with a perception that they care. That was just a side note, but on this slide we can look at the listening gaps that most businesses have, and it's a shame. I see this everywhere. Most brands, whenever we go to audit them, at least one of these four is happening, sometimes all the four and even more. Now, if you're only replying to your complaints, if you're ignoring untagged mentions, yeah, these are, like we have said, these are conversations that are happening away from your channels. If you're using generic responses, the responses that Facebook sets for you, and they help you to improve your response time, but they don't really help you with your customer experience. If you're failing to track sentiment over time, then you start appearing a bit cold. And customers will be talking about you whether you are responding or not. So imagine a conversation is being had about you. They're gossiping. And it's been 2 days and perception has been built somewhere else. And you're here very busy, continuing with posting about your products or services, very happy and wondering why customers are not coming to buy. Now, social listening will help you to capture these conversations and help your brand to take part in them, to safeguard your brand perception. Now, in these 3 practical steps, this is how you could listen. And we call it look, you learn, and then you look back. So whenever you're looking, this is monitoring comments, and there are many tools you can use to help you with this. There are many CRMs out there. Even the native social media platforms themselves have several tools that you can use to continue monitoring discussions as they go. And then you could learn and identify repeated complaints, feedback that is coming, and amplify such, especially when there is good feedback, and you capture them, amplify them. Even if this is somebody who's speaking on their own channel or account, if you listen and you capture this conversation, then you can reply and tell them, yes, we heard you, and we are glad that you enjoyed dealing with us. And then looping back is about responding in time and doing this cycle all over again. Remember, listening is continuous. If you don't listen, we will continue speaking about you and expecting you to take part. If you don't take part, then we build a perception around your brand, and it is not always a good perception. Now, this is how you could respond wisely, yeah? And this WISE framework, I'm very sure most of you have engaged with it somewhere else. So W is for warmth, I is for intent, S is for specificity, excuse my Kenyan tongue, E is for efficiency. And then I have given you 2 examples of good versus great response. And like I said, if somebody asks you something publicly, do not, and I repeat, do not tell them to DM. You will only escalate the fire. The first thing to note is maybe borrow Safaricom's way of handling, customer calls, and saying sorry for that if it's a complaint, and say now we are sorry that has happened. Could we have your details, and we'll reach out and take it from there. But let your response not be check your inbox or kindly DM us. You only escalate the fire. Now, this is how you could turn customer voice into business wins. Okay, when you are listening and you start acting, yeah, when you capture those conversations in good time, then it will help you to better your product features. If a complaint is coming about a feature of your product and you capture it in good time, then you can make changes to your products. You can create better content over time because now you know what is resonating with your audience and what is not working. You can have faster conversations that will build social trust, and then loyalty and repeat business. Because again, when you listen is when we feel you listen is when we feel that you care, and then we'll want to work with you even more. These are some of the tools that you could use today. There are quite a number, and if you there's even there are more detailed examples that I could share with you. I believe I will give my contacts at the very end, and you could reach out and have more discussions about this. I believe as you're reading through this, the social networks analytics, and these are the indigenous social media platforms. They have a few tools that you could use and set your own keywords to look out for. There are review platforms. Google Business Reviews is one of the platforms that many businesses ignore. You should always set up your Google Business site and make sure that you are asking for customer reviews from customers who are satisfied with your products or services. And then there are other listening tools like native search for hashtags and basic social trackers. There are templates and labels on WhatsApp business labels. WhatsApp has really come out strongly trying to become a CRM, and many businesses are taking advantage of that. Then there are other simple CRM tools for MSMEs, but the paid versions will always give you more. Now, I'll give you, these are a few takeaways from this presentation. But then after this, and Carol, with your permission, you'll allow me to hijack your audience. I want to take them for a very short flight out of East Africa for a short time, yeah? So here are the key takeaways, yeah? Number one, digital customer voice is public data. You are free to collect it, use tools to do this. It is much faster. And then you can turn this into better feedback for your products and services and better ways of engaging with your audience. Listening should be continuous. This should happen every day. And again, there are tools out there that are going to help you with this. If you do this manually, refreshing your page every time to see which new comment has come, you will be late. You will not be part of conversations that are happening outside of your accounts. And then you should respond wisely to build trust and loyalty. And finally, use tools and they don't need to be expensive if you're low on a budget. Now, allow me give you this real world example. Take you all the way from Nairobi to Kenneth, he was called Kenneth Matiba International Airport. And this is something that happened this Thursday. The ball started rolling on Thursday. And I will give you a relation of how from Zambia we came back to Kenya. So Hamakop, and I hope you can see their handle there clearly. They're called Hamakop ZM. Is a Zambian real estate company. They sell a lot of land and they are in that space generally. And so in October 23rd is when they posted these, 30 hectares of land for sale. And they are to be sold in bunches of 5 hectares. 5 hectares is about 60 acres thereabout. Each of them was going for 120,000 Zambian kwacha. I will tell you the relevance of this in a short while. So as of Thursday, the 11th of December, that was just this Thursday, they saw a spike in their post on the comments of on the views of this post that they had done all the way back in October. And it all started with one post. And the comment was, and this was on X, the comment was, how much is this in Kenyan shillings? Now you're in Zambia, you are head of digital at Abaco, and you must be wondering, why is a Kenyan all of a sudden interested in this? If we went back to the original post where that brought that one Kenyan comment, it was another gentleman by the name Ian Cox, who had given a recommendation to his Kenyan friend, telling him that instead of buying 1 acre of land in Nanyuki for about 3 million shillings, there are options. There's 60 acres down in Zambia for about 600,000 Kenyan shillings. It's quite a difference. But here's the relevance of this story, and this is why I've taken you all to Zambia. This was a perfect social listening opportunity for Hamakop to use and now reach out to a market and a demographic they had probably not thought about before. So had they seen this first comment, it would have triggered a chain reaction. And the question would have been, why is this guy asking about this much in Kenyan shillings? And then they would have gone all the way back to discover that there's a conversation happening all the way in Nanyuki, and they are not part of that conversation. And so let us now look at how they would have taken advantage of this. One, you start reply, because up to now that comment has not been replied to. The one asking about how much this is in Kenyan shillings. So if we were the digital marketing managers, all of us, we were digital marketing managers at Amaco, the first step would have been to reply to that comment the moment it came in. With proper social listening, they should have caught it on that same Friday, on that same Thursday when it would have been asked. And then they would have followed the train, go back to where this conversation all started, and then be part of that conversation. After that, for business, you now start creating content for that Kenyan market, because now you see there's a very big difference between the price of land in Kenya and the price of land in Zambia. And then you put yourself in the shoes of these of these Kenyans per se. And you ask yourself, what else do they need to know? So now you start creating content around what does a Kenyan need to do to own land in Zambia. Now, all of a sudden, you've expanded your market from Zambia to Kenya. And we all know if you get Kenya, you get Africa. So I hope this example helps. Carol, I would like to stop here and maybe we can go into a few questions.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, Zambia. I am buying land. I have traveled. Thank you for taking us out of this nation on a tour. This is the touring and holidaying season we are in. Caleb, you have said many important things, and you've said them so simply. They sound simple. They sound like we can just start them today. And I'm not sure that they are simple, Caleb. This, you've talked about how to respond. You've talked about the pitfalls we should look out for, the things that we should stop doing, that we are doing, and we should stop. You've talked about W.I.S.E. You've talked about tools. You've just fed us a 7 or 8 course meal as we go along. So the question here is this as simple as it sounds? Can I just wake up today and do the things that you are doing? Because not all of us, we are a broad spectrum here. We truly have all kinds of people on this call. And so we have those that are fully corporate, and they have the budgets to do these things, and they have the budgets to come and knock on your door and ask you to help. And then we also have, just our regular entrepreneurs who might not have budget to come and knock on your door. How can we do this simply by ourselves? Yeah. Please answer that first, and then we'll go to Mine. Mine is selling all kinds of clean energy solutions, as she told you in the chat. Any of you who want to just, you're feeling green, run to Mine. Mine wants to find out about how to deal with keyboard warriors. So Mine, maybe you can qualify your question a little bit more, and Caleb can answer it. So over to you, Caleb. Is it really as simple as you're making it? Yeah, otherwise, I'm absolutely loving what you're saying. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. I know it is the festive season and we all want goodies, but unfortunately, the right answer, if we are being honest to your question, is that it's not as simple as it sounds, unfortunately. Social media is work. It is work. But there is a way you can scale it down instead of, you might not have the budget of the big corporates that you're talking about. And like the example I've given you of Safaricom, who are doing billions of Kenyan shillings every year. But as long as you start with a proper digital marketing strategy, there is no way to there's no two ways to do it. You have to have a proper digital marketing strategy, whether you are a small kibanda in Nyamakima here, an area in Nairobi, or you are the biggest brand that we know in the world, or maybe you are Stanley Cup itself. You must have a digital strategy. Now, who handles that digital marketing strategy is where maybe you can scale it down and have either yourself, or if you can afford a team member who will be handling it and then reporting all the way back to you. There are a few tools out there that don't need you to pay for them. There are a few CRMs that I've shared in those slides, and by the I'll be happy to share these slides with everybody. There's some few tools. Even the native the native social media platforms themselves give you a bunch of tools that you can use to do social listening and also respond in good time to your customers. but it is a lot of work. And trust you me, building a brand online takes not less than 6 months. Anybody who tells you less than that, I am sorry to say, from my experience, that is not possible. You have to give it time. It has to be very consistent. You have to continue talking to your audience every day, including Sundays and public holidays. And there's a way you can do that. Yeah, the good thing with the technology and these beautiful phones that we use everywhere is that they help us to engage 24/7. And so you can time yourself, hours in the day. We always say that the best response time is 1 minute. That's the best response time. If you check your Facebook and you see that they're giving you a response time of more than 1 minute, you have some work to do. But don't beat yourself up if you can take it down to about 6 hours. If you can give me a response within the day, I will be happy to continue engaging with you. Yeah, so Caro, unfortunately, it's a lot of work, but it is doable and we have to do it.
Right. I like
Yeah.
that you're not beating about the proverbial bush now that you're talking about land and bushes in Zambia. And you're just shooting straight from the hip and telling us that indeed the work must get done. We must put in the hours. We must concentrate. We must focus. So we welcome questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask. And Caleb, I want to ask this. What do we do with brand assassins? Because there are people who just come to assassinate brands. Some are even paid. They are paid. You know, it's even there are big brands with brand assassins, or even my competitor can pay somebody, some random Kenyan, to come and spoil my brand. Maybe I am selling beautiful hair, accessories, and you're also selling them, Caleb. And then I pay my sister, I give her some, I smile at her and pay her something, and then she comes to assassinate your brand. How do we handle that? How do we separate the truth from what is chaotic out here? Brands are really suffering from this, and businesses too. Yeah, please share with us.
You've actually beaten me to it, and you've explained it in exactly how I wanted to bring that example. How somebody will just pay their sister to come and attack you, plus their friends, to lead a chain of a very negative trend for your brand. And you'll be surprised. Let me speak about this. You'll be surprised that it doesn't only happen to the big corporates or to MSMEs only. Even you selling those hair products, it has happened a lot. And that is where you might need some help from a professional to come and help you to create what we call a crisis management plan. Even in digital marketing, we have crisis management plans, and that borrows from a digital marketing strategy. So it's not just one document that tells you how and when you're going to post, but it is also about when these the so-called bloggers, like we've come to know them in the Kenyan political landscape, when they attack, those keyboard assassins, those keyboard warriors, when they attack, what do you do? So if we look at the example of a small brand, for example, yeah, and you've been posting consistently, you've done everything right by the social media Bible, your response times are great and everything. The thing about visibility is that it attacks critics and enemies. So now they see you're working well, and they get, they get afraid that you're biting into their share of that social media market, however small you might think your industry is. So now you need to do two things. One, I've already said, have a crisis management plan for when negative trends are building against you. There are a few things you can do. One of them is to pause non-essential commentary or non-essential posts. And don't forget those that you've already scheduled to come out in the following day, because somebody might feel like you are insensitive to the situation. We all know the situation is a lie, because this is somebody who has been paid to come and assassinate your brand. But you need to pause everything and make sure you are dealing with this with all empathy. However much you're very sure that this is just an enemy who has been sent to you, you have to deal with a lot of empathy, because it's not only your competitors who are watching. Even your audience is also watching. How are you going to deal with this? And if you come out powerful, if you win, so help you God, then it will turn the brand perception of your company or your product into one of even people will want to be associated with you, because they saw how you really treated this person. And the other beautiful thing about social media is that your audience can tell when you're being targeted. Now, if you've built emotional equity over time, you've been responding to them well with a lot of empathy, then you'll find that sometimes they come and start defending your brand. That's where you find comments like, hey, I don't think this is a real issue. I think you've been said. And this is somebody who is not on your staff, but they're commenting and they can tell that this is a good brand. We love this brand. We have dealt with it. Whenever we had comments, they came up and they handled me well. So they wouldn't want to stand and see you taken down by assassins. I think I've answered that question to some extent. You're on mute.
Oh dear, and the way I've said such important things, let me repeat them. Let me repeat them. And you've not just answered it somewhat, you have really answered it well. You're talking about emotional equity that needs to be built so that when the brand assassin shows up, it's clear that something is wrong, very wrong. And those that are emotionally engaged will then come and even rescue. And then you've talked about being able to handle this wisely with that WISE framework that you showed over there, so that it's consistent that whoever has come to attack the brand is really just off. And the third thing you have said here, which I'm picking up with such seriousness, is what is the crisis management plan? Like, I should not wait for a crisis to show up. I should rethink it. I should be ready. I should be very ready. No matter what level I am at, I should be ready for that. Yeah. Good people, please ask your questions. Kithinji, you're asking whether the recording will be available. It will, and we want to ask you, Caleb, for the presentation as well, so that we have the recording and we also have the presentation that we can use
share it
and share. Now, tell us before we get questions from the audience. And Wanjao is saying building a brand is a full-time job. Should we be on every platform? Should I be on LinkedIn, on Twitter? We refuse to call it X. We have refused. Should we be on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on TikTok? Or I know WhatsApp is really a business tool per se, social media, but it's business. On Instagram, on Threads, it's just, what do we do? We are confused out here. Please help us. Help us, Caleb. How do we make wise decisions about where to be?
Yeah, that is such a wonderful question. And it leads me to one of my favorite parts about social media and digital marketing as a whole. And that is before you start going to a platform, you need to understand who exactly is your ideal customer and where exactly do they reside on this digital marketing world. So maybe your business or maybe your products does not have customers who are originally on LinkedIn per se. Or maybe they have moved away from Facebook. Maybe they're Gen Zs and now their platform is TikTok. The only way you can know which platforms to be a part of and to be active in is by, first of all, understanding who your ideal customer is. Those customer personas, you have to write them down. If you have 2, 3, have them down and create content according to those personas. And then also try to understand which platforms are they on. That is how best we could answer this. So you need to understand your customer very well. Some customers for some brands are not on X, for example. And I know I've had this so many times. Brands are complaining and saying X is a very volatile place, but it does have a lot of business. It can give you a lot of business. You just have to understand your customer and make sure that your message resonates with them in that platform that they are on. Because let's face it, social media is a reflection of our world. There are groups, these are social holes. So I go there to enjoy myself. I go there to find information. We might all know that TikTok right now is a better search engine than Google. Yes, that has happened. So I go there to connect with my people, look at what the neighbors are doing and try to copy them, find out where the best safari is. So I know where to look for that information as a user, as a customer. So you as a brand need to understand me very well to know that I am most likely to be in platform X, or let me use Y. Now that there might be a confusion with the letter X. So you need to understand that, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm very active there. Or maybe I'm a millennial, like, yes, I am. I'm very active on Facebook. And Facebook has really done a resumption of its active users. It has become very active among millennials. So if your product or service is targeting millennials, then you have to be very active on Facebook. That is what we need to do.
Right. You listen
Yeah.
to the voice of your customer,
Yeah.
know your customer, as we keep saying in customer
Yeah.
experience and employee experience, understand them to the extent that we know what's their demographic, where are they found, what kind
Yeah.
of voice do they listen to, and then position ourselves there.
Yes.
That's a
You've captured
fantastic
it correctly.
journey map you have is to
Yeah.
communicate. How
Yeah.
frequently should he be analyzing the comments left by customers so that he can position himself to address emerging concerns? Should this be weekly? Should this be bi-weekly? What should be his cadence, if we say cadence or cadence, depending on where
Yeah.
you went to school?
Yes.
What should be his
We lost you, Caro, at some point. I don't know whether it's my network or yours, but the answer to that is the best way to do analysis, sentiment analysis, is by doing it every single day. Now, I understand we might not all afford to have a digital marketing team that is 24/7 hands-on, but with some tools and with and maybe one employee, you can be able to analyze your engagement on online every day. If that is too much, do not go past 3 days, because social media moves very fast. You can build your brand within 1 year, and people are saying, yeah, you're the best, man. Your content is so good, we like interacting with it, your products are nice. But within 1 hour, somebody, especially those assassins that we spoke about, within 1 hour, a negative trend can be initiated on your brand, and you will not be able to rebuild that trust with your audience. So this has to be a daily activity that you do. And you go and review all your engagements with your audience for that day and say, okay, there was a complaint over there was some feedback over here, there was this conversation that is running on another group that we are not a part of. What content can we create for it tomorrow so that we be a part of those conversations and part of those groups? So it has to be a daily thing, Carol.
daily? What?
Yes.
There's no two ways about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have seen brands going down in a day here. We have
Yes.
actually seen it. It's real. Whatever you're
Yeah.
saying is, we have seen you, we have heard you, we are listening to you, we are taking this seriously, even before you go and come back with an answer, because sometimes the answer might take some time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
about when we need to protect the customer's confidentiality? You've told us not to say check inbox, check DM, and you've given us an
Yeah.
example of responding and still asking them to go into the DM. How do we handle that where you don't want to molika, quote unquote, expose the customer, and at the same time you need to answer? And those in financial services usually suffer from this because there's only so much you can say online. How do we balance? How do we balance that? Yeah, please tell us.
Okay, it takes a bit of creativity in how you talk with people. There is a way you can frame your answer in that you've answered this person partially, and then also compel them or encourage them to continue this conversation in the inbox without sounding that rude brand that just tells you check inbox or kindly DM us, and they leave you there with all your paragraphs of a rant. There's a way, and you might need to become a politician of sorts on this. You need to find a way of speaking to people so that you partially answer them and make them feel like, one, you have heard and understood what they are saying. You might not respond to it in full, but as long as a customer, I feel you listened, you read that whole paragraph, and then you told me, yes, this is what is happening. We understand what is happening, but now this other part is a bit sensitive. we want to go maybe have your details, your phone number, your email, and to do a follow-up. So yes, there is a way, and you have to be very creative in how you answer such complaints as they come, because like we have said, everyone is watching, from your customers to other potential customers, and most especially your competitors. Carol?
Right. Everybody
Yeah,
is watching. Big
yeah,
Brother is watching. There's nowhere
yeah.
to hide. There's nowhere to run. We really must be very, very well put together online, because really that's where our entire nakedness really is. Dan
Yeah.
is asking on the group, if you're already on multiple platforms doing a lot of things, should we cull that down and just focus, or do we just try to manage the many places we are in? Does shutting down some accounts, is that too tragic a thing to do? Could we do that?
In a way, it is, and you should never, never, ever cancel an account that you already have somewhere. Most especially if you had even one impression. If somebody, even just one person, saw it, you should never, ever delete an account. If there are comments, it's even worse. So here is how I kind of divide the content based on the number of platforms and which ones are important. So the first thing to do is to create content based on a platform. If I'm on X, I will not post it the same way as I post on LinkedIn. If we are doing a staff video, for example, and it's funny, and we are posting it on TikTok, I might post the same video on LinkedIn, but the caption will have to be totally different, because remember, again, that is a whole other village, and we have to act like that village when we are there. So the trick here is to do this. After you've done your content based on specific platforms, you can now take that content and repost it on the platforms where you believe currently your main customers are not active there. So that is one very easy tactic, and actually that was a very good question. But please do not delete your accounts.
That's like abandoning customers, right? If you delete your
Yeah, yeah,
account, it's
yeah.
like abandoning customers. They are not
Eh,
important, and
Very
so
bad for
on.
business. Yeah,
Very bad for business. So we should just try and manage somehow with the
yeah,
tools that we have, repurpose
yeah.
content for different platforms. You have
Repurposing.
said every village has its villagers, that we must speak to the villagers, because if the village are not happy, then we shall not prosper, because the
Yes.
people in your village can activate the
Yeah.
village witches against you, and we don't want that. So we are
Yes.
hearing and we are taking notes, and this conversation is very important. As we come to
Yeah.
our last 5 minutes, and we will ask you to give us your parting shot, Caleb. We've
Okay.
really absorbed a lot. I am learning
Very good.
every single minute that you are speaking, and everything you're saying is responding to the people who are trading, like ordinary traders, and also responding to big corporates. So what you have said is cutting across. How do we find you? Where do we find you? How can we sit at your feet? I know you're already in our WhatsApp platform, and you'll allow us to ask you questions there, because
Yes.
as we go and marinate and meditate over the things, questions will come. But where are you found? And then give us your parting. What do you want to leave us with? You have said many beautiful things. What do you want to leave us with? Over to you, Caleb.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. First of all, as we've seen, online communications are very important. As of right now, we know if you ignore your online customers, then you're really killing your business. And if you've been living under a rock and have not started doing social media marketing for your business, or creating even a single piece of content, then you need to start that today. But as you do so, kindly start with the first item, and that will be a digital marketing strategy. It will help you to know with what kind of customers you are looking for and where they are. It will guide you on how to handle crisis. And most importantly, it will help you to continuously analyze, because all those are facets of a digital marketing strategy. There's analysis at the very end. So it will keep your brand very engaged, and people will build trust with you and understand that what kind of brand they are looking at. And it will also protect you from the so-called village witches. I like that name, and I'm going to use it somewhere. Yeah, it will protect you from the village witches when they start riding their brooms. Where you can find me on every social media platform. Personally, I am Caleb Social, at Caleb Social. And then there's Grafiki Media Limited, the small team of creatives and digital marketing strategists that I lead. We are based in Nairobi, handling clients all over East Africa, and we'll be glad. I'll be personally glad to engage with you. You can reach out to me, and we can have a conversation. You can give me a nudge on LinkedIn, and let's talk. I'll give my links on this chat and also on the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, thank you so much for having me, Carol. And I'd like to say I'm very happy to be the one to wish everyone a Merry Christmas as the last guest of this webinar. Thank you so much.
Oh, we are so privileged. We are so privileged to have you. I think also when you share the presentation, please put your contacts at the end of it so that we can just screenshot from there and some buzzer everywhere, even people who are not on this chat, because many people need to hear your voice. Good people, as we come to the end of this year, we've reflected on many beautiful things. We meet once a month online like this every third Monday. So please book your calendars into 2026. And we also have a WhatsApp platform where weekly we converse. We converse weekly. So join us there. And what we want to leave with is our constant thing that we say. Delightful experiences, whether they are online, whether they are in person, in whatever form and shape. And Caleb has really reiterated this. It doesn't happen by default. It is as a result of intentional, put intentional in bold, design to ensure that outcomes exceed our customer expectations. So even online, what's our intentional design? What are we doing to ensure that it works and it works well? Not just for the online customer, for all our customers, internal customers, external customers. So we wish you a fantastic holiday season. Merry Christmas. Imagine it's already Christmas. Happy 2026. May we just delight our customers in 2026 and beyond and come back here with stories of how we are thriving. Our customers are thriving. Our staff are thriving. Everyone is blossoming and flourishing. That's our wish for you. Each and every one of you be absolutely blessed. Let us meet on WhatsApp and let us meet in 2026 with a bang. So bye, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful week ahead, and we shall see you in the next year, God willing. Bye, everyone, and thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye, 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 Wanda. Bye, Caleb. Bye, bye, Karen. Bye, Brian. Thank you all so much. We have really learned a lot. Bye, bye, all.